Hi, I'm Amanda Steinberg, and I'm presenting Chapter 9, Section 1, pages 363 to 373. So, the first thing this chapter talks about is the motivation of instrumental action. Instrumental behavior is motivated. There are different levels of motivation, and they can help explain variability, and variability and persistence are properties of behavior. The second thing it talks about is how motivational states affect behavior. They tested this with rats. There's such thing as specific hungers, which are the tendency for animals to seek and prefer certain foods that might contain specific nutrients that they are currently deprived of. They do this to maintain homeostasis, which is the tendency of an organism to maintain an internal equilibrium. So homeostasis was developed by Clark Hull, who determined what drive is. His formula of drive was drive is the major motivator, which is multiplied by the habit, which gives you behavioral strength. All organisms show homeostasis and specific hungers, whether it's humans or animals. We all seek and prefer things that we need to maintain balance in our bodies. The third thing that it talks about is, does drive merely energize? So they tested food-deprived rats, and hunger and thirst do increase behavior. Motivational states select specific sets of behavior rather than energizing everything blindly. They asked the question of, is instrumental action a function of deprivation level? At first, Hull believed that it was, but now it gets more interesting. Dickinson and Bernard did an experiment on instrumental behavior, and that it depends crucially on the animal's knowledge of how the reinforcer actually affects the motivational state. It defines something called incentive learning, which is any situation based on Thorndike's method in which animals can learn about the relationship between their actions and consequences. Essentially, it's the same as operant conditioning, except that in instrumental learning experiments, the experimenter must set up each and every opportunity that the organism has to respond. Someone named Belline also did an experiment, and all of the experiments showed that we do need to learn about the value of a reinforcer in that state. So, knowing the value of a reinforcer does affect behavior. Incentive learning overlaps with some of Tolman's earlier thinking about instrumental action, and motivational states do affect instrumental behavior. Lastly, the fourth thing it talks about is motivated behavior a response to a need? So Hull developed drive, which was drive was a response to a need, and it's concluded that sometimes animals anticipate the need, which is why they get a drive. So drive isn't the only reason for a need. Sometimes we tend to anticipate the need before it happens, and we get a drive.